Yo, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to episode 5 of the 50/50. I'm here back again. It's a fine Thursday. I'm here with MoneyGo 1, 2, 3 and Bop in his study room. Shout out Bop's study room. But we got the boys. The boys are here. Money, how you feeling today?
Yup. Yeah, I'm feeling great. I'm feeling fantastic. I'm feeling phenomenal. I'm ready to talk about Gamers8. And yeah, I'm feeling good.
Good stuff. Bop, how you
Mm,
feeling over there?
I'm feeling good. Feeling good. Just got out of class, ready to talk about some Rocket League. I think we all looking nice. Got the Jag with the fresh cut right there, looking nice. The hair, everyone. Looking good, looking good. I love to see it.
Yeah, it's a good time. It's a good day. You know why it's a good day, though? It's not just any good day. It's a good day because NA the past weekend, they came out on top. It's been a long time coming for a team from North America with actual North American players. Version1, they won Gamers8, and we're here to talk about Gamers8 today. So, let's just jump right into it, I think. V1, they did take the win over the past weekend. Beast Mode was looking disgusting out there, maybe surprising a few people with his wins. And so, honestly, I just want to open the question up right away. Where do you guys place V1 roster after Gamers8?
Well, Money, you want to take that first?
Yeah, this is a tough question, mainly because it's a crew battle format. I don't know how high I want to put them, especially since like 3v3 might have been their weakest mode, even though they looked
Mm-hmm.
incredible. They had some incredible moments. The passing plays, the fakes, like just everything from that team was looking sick. But it's not like a 3v3 tournament. So I'd probably put them in the world. I'd put them top. Oh, I might put them top five. I might put them top five in the world.
Top five.
Ooh,
Okay, that's
well,
respectable. Who do you have in front of him? Let's hear
Yeah.
it. Name the four.
Well, just for like consistency and stuff, it's definitely three of the four EU teams. I have to put the BDS, Vitality, Carbon Corp
Okay.
above. And then I kind of just had that extra spot just for like flexibility. Maybe like I don't know, like Rule One. Maybe even the other like yeah, Team Liquid. Like maybe I don't know. The fourth spot just for flexibility.
Okay, fair. Bob, what do you think? You agree with him?
I think top five right now is a little tough for me because obviously they didn't make Worlds, they didn't make the Spring Major. They won one regional online, but then like they kind of fluked out the other ones. Like I don't know what happened there. Realistically, I think they won 55% of their threes games at this land, which
Yeah.
is like it's not that good compared to other teams. I have them top 10 in the world, but like it's tough to put them top 5, I think. Like I would still put like Complexity, SSG, probably Gen G, the three French teams, Liquid, probably like Rule 1, Falcons maybe even. Like these teams I'd probably still put above them, yeah.
That's valid. So you guys really just are rating it off of threes, though. If that, so here's a hypothetical scenario for you guys. Say they won every
Yeah.
every threes game at Gamers8. Would you guys look at them differently then?
Oh, for me, I would put them top 5 then. Yeah. I'll still
So
have the three French teams above
so
them.
let me spin that on you again. So
Hmm.
Carmine Corp did not win all their threes games. In fact, they actually could not win a threes game in their elimination match. So, does that change your perspective on that at all?
Not for me. For
Interesting.
me, it's still
Okay.
the same.
Okay,
Yeah, it doesn't
valid
change
enough.
anything.
Yeah,
Overall,
Kickoff fell
eh,
apart. I'm not changing it, but
okay,
yeah, Kickoff
fair
just
enough,
fell
fair
apart, bro.
enough. Understandable. I mean, I think Vitality kind of did too, actually. We'll talk about that later, though.
Hmm.
Overall, though, for me, honestly, I'd probably give them a top four. I think top four is valid enough, to be
Ooh.
honest. I think,
Wait, is
like Money said, I think the three EU teams are
mm,
ahead of them. I can't put. I think Rule One. I don't know. Rule One, they're decent enough, but they're kind of inconsistent. And V1 did beat them
mm,
recently. I get it isn't only threes, but they got the job done when it mattered. I mean, still $2 million on the line. Well, I guess overall the event, but
true.
it's what $600,000 on the line. Got to come up big. But speaking,
Wait, so you have V1 best in NA then?
um, At this moment, yeah, because we don't know what the other teams are doing. I have a real suspicion that V1 after this, unless something crazy happens in the off season, I think they're gonna stick probably. So for now, yeah,
Possibly.
that's a bit of recency bias, but I'd give it to him for now. I mean, beast mode also. I thought beast mode looked absolutely absurd, and we'll transition right into that actually. Where'd you guys rank beast mode himself after this event? If we're doing, you can think in your little mind, doing a 25 player tier list out there.
Ooh, for me personally, I think I could see him like fourth best in the world. I could see like fourth best. I would put Vatira, Zen, Monkey Moon above him.
Okay,
And then I could put him fourth. I like that.
that's valid. Money?
Yeah, I might have to go with a top 5 again for that young man beast. Bro, he looked insane. Like, even in threes, like especially on defense in threes, he was holding it
Man.
together every single time. Like so many shots that was like, okay, that might be in just under the crossbar. No, he saves it off his backboard so many
Yeah.
times, dude. Yeah, I think I'll stick with top 5.
The man was a weapon at Gamers8, man. And I feel like actually when you're rating top players in the world, I actually think Gamers8 is a better way to rank players individually than just watching RLCS. Because you get to see their, variation in their modes. You get to see their individual skill overall on top of, how they impact their team. And so with that said, I'd probably give him a top 3. I'd put him at top 3.
Ooh.
I'd say Zen. Then I'd say it's probably Monkey Moon. I'm actually gonna take Vatira out. I didn't think he looked that great at Gamers8.
Dang.
So yeah, but I put Vatira at fourth. But yeah, Beast Mode, man, he was looking. Oh my lord, he was looking absolutely disgusting. His ones game, shout out Jaffe, Yeah, his ones game was absolutely gross. This man, if he actually played ones, he actually might be the best ones player in the world, low key. So that's to be seen if he does it this offseason. But my god, the man was disgusting. So I guess this was kind of here. We already did it, but top 3 players right now individually. Go, quick fire.
I'm putting Zen still at the top. I'll put. Honestly, I'm keeping Vatira second. I don't think I'm gonna push him out too far. Bro, now it's between. For me, it's between Monkey Moon, Beast Mode, and dude, I still value LJ a lot, dude.
LJ
I
is
think
good. That's a good shout.
Okay.
I'm gonna go. Nah, let the recency bias come in. I'm going Beast Mode, dude. I'm going
Yes,
Beast Mode at
sir, he
number 3.
knows. The
Oh,
NA
Beast
bias
Mode
is
at
looking
3.
good today.
Not bad, not bad. I mean, if we're talking like pure like just 3v3 skill, like I
Yeah.
said, I would still put Zen, then Vatira, then Monkey Moon. But I think like if you're talking about like talent overall, I think like Nupo, I don't know how you say his
That's a
name, honestly.
fair one,
Nobo,
actually.
Nepo,
He looked
Nupo.
good.
He might be up there. And then also Beast Mode, of course, as well. Right up there as well.
Yeah.
Oh wait, yeah, that's a good point. You did say individually. I
Yeah.
might throw Ross in there. Maybe give him an honorable mention and put him like top 3 as well.
Somebody I
Yeah,
still
he was
hold on.
looking
I've seen way too much disrespect actually recently. I gotta throw this man in there. He's not top 3 right now, but he's always up there. It's first killer. Like first killer, he's too good to not mention him in this conversation. Like he always is. I don't care anything around him. He's got the talent. He's always mentionable in that convo. And I've seen way too much disrespect on him recently too. This man, bro, I've seen people saying he's not even top 10. Like, shut up, you don't know what you're talking about. Go home.
Yeah, out of top 10 is crazy, dude.
Yeah, no, that's
Yeah, he's still top 10. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, you guys somewhat touched on it, how you were ranking V1 and how we ranked them overall. But how much weight does winning Gamers8 or really just doing well in Gamers8 have, would you guys say? Because to me, I always actually really rate Gamers8. And I don't think that's a popular opinion between people. I don't think many people do.
Yeah, I'd say you rate it a lot more than I do, especially in like terms of like coming into like next season and stuff, like how you like it impacts.
Yeah.
I rate it highly on the sense of like it's a very like prestigious tournament, massive prize pool, so there's a lot of pressure like on the players to perform. So like I think like that's very high. But in terms of like 3v3, I rate it super low only because like there's a lot of players that don't play the other modes that have like a 5 minute, 10 minute break in between before coming back to 3v3. So it's tough to gain momentum. So I think some teams really struggle with that.
Yeah.
So in that sense, I don't rate it too high.
That's fair. I think for me, like, it's probably like it's not as big as a major for me. It's somewhere below a major. Like, definitely more than like a regional, but like less than a major. I've seen some people have some hot takes saying that like one regional win is more important than like a Gamers8 win, which I think is kind of
No,
crazy to me.
that's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's wild.
But yeah, as well. But I would still rate like an RLCS major above it. But I think it still does hold weight. I think some people are discrediting it, saying that it's like, oh, it doesn't matter at all. But I think there's some weight to it. It shows like individual talent a lot. Like we saw two Middle Eastern teams make top four.
Yeah.
I think that shows a lot of the talent that they have there. It shows that like NA, even though we're kind of in the mud, we still have talent. You know,
Yeah.
we're still here. So I rate it. I rate it.
Yeah, the talent is definitely there. And I think actually you kind of touched on it actually with that talent point, because I think to me I rate Gamers8 a little bit higher, but not for like rating when you're rating RLCS. I rate it more I use Gamers8 to rate more talent and less so just like how good a team is in a certain mode. Like you can rate the talent of individual players, I feel like, way better in Gamers8 than you can in RLCS, because in RLCS obviously it's a 3-man team. Whereas Gamers8, you need your ones player, your twos team to step up and just show how good they were. I mean, I don't think it would be a hot take to say Beast Mode and Daniel proved they were the best twos team in the world right now. And I mean, to an extent, I mean that's rated. You're not gonna rate it like you rate RLCS 3s, because you just can't do that in this format. Like, it's just not really valid, I guess. But overall, I mean, when there's a $2 million prize pool on the line, you better rate it somewhat. Or I mean, there's really no point to even have the event, I would say. It's got to be somewhat notable.
Yeah,
that's
I
facts.
agree.
Well, I mean, dude, speaking of rating Gamers8, which game modes did you guys enjoy the most? Like, which game modes did you rate the highest? Because, like, honestly, there's an argument for 1v1, there's an argument for 2v2, and there's an argument for 3v3. But what did you guys enjoy the most?
Go for it, Bob. I gotta think about this.
Yeah, I think like for me, I'm a big fan of ones, right? So just getting to see ones on land is like so fun to watch because we rarely get to see this on land. Like
Yeah.
very rarely we see a ones land happen. So some of those moments like when Beast Mode came into ones and like he was actually popping off, like that was crazy. Seeing Zen versus Rawaz in ones, like this kind of stuff for me at least personally, it builds a lot of hype, and like I'm always excited to watch those a lot.
Yeah, I would. Man, it's a hard question for me because I enjoy watching all of them, but I think. See, the thing for me is overall, when I was just watching, I enjoyed ones and twos more than threes just watching, but it was because of the novelty of the mode. It wasn't just like if it was just a full ones LAN, I wouldn't have had as much fun watching it. I would have been like, okay, here's another ones game. Okay, kickoff goal, awesome. Okay, kickoff goal, awesome. But the fact that it's it's ones game or a one game and then you go to another mode, I think that's what made it fun. So honestly, it's gonna be an NPC answer, but honestly, all three, because they're what make it entertaining. I think is all three together.
Okay. Yeah, low-key, I definitely agree with that. I think that the ones at this tournament was absolutely insane, but like ones in general, sometimes it gets boring, dude.
Yeah.
Like I heard people even roasting the ones in this tournament, and I was like, wait, what? Some of these games were incredible. Like, what are you roasting the ones?
I'm sure they were roasting, like, I think there are a few that are like 8-1, and just an 8-1 ones game is a snoozer. But...
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
But luckily, like you said, we got some really good ones games here. I mean, Beast Mode also, I think, made it more fun because nobody really knew exactly how good he was in ones. Like, it was just insane.
Yeah, that was outrageous.
But yeah,
dude, every single match Beast Mode played, I was like, yeah, dude, he's not beating Joyous.
Yeah.
Dude beats Joyous. I'm like, dude, he's not beating Joyous twice. Almost beats Joyous twice, bro.
Honestly, he probably should have won that too. He kind of choked in the last like 25 seconds of that second game, but yeah, that going toe to toe or with Ross too, that was the craziest.
Yeah, that was. They went to OT, right, in that game, I think.
Honestly,
one
Beast
goal
Mode,
game.
he was just getting boost starved in that Ruas game. Like if he could have figured out how to get some boost, he would have been fine. But yeah, man, that was a fun one. So overall
Yeah,
though,
taking out TRK.
yeah, overall though, I'd say, like I said, a mix. Money, you agree with that? You said.
Yeah, I'd say actually I'll say 2v2 for this tournament. I liked a lot of the 2v2 games, I'll be honest.
Mm,
But yeah, ones was hella good too.
Valid. And
mm.
Bop, you
What
said
was your
once.
favorite? Yeah, yeah. Money. What was your favorite twos team to watch?
Oh, that's a good question. I might have to go with the standard Daniel versus Beast Mode.
Mm,
My favorite series
good.
was them against I think it was Kalirs and Rewas. They had a
Mm.
defensive
Oh
masterclass,
my
bro.
god. Bro, I was on the floor.
They,
I fell out of my chair when they were making some of those saves. It was insane. Absolutely wild.
dude, they
Hey.
scored like a clear like I think it was a Daniel flick from like past the half, from past like the center line, and then just lock down defense for 4 minutes, bro.
It was insane.
Yo.
Another twos game that I actually forgot about until I was looking, but another one that was a banger. You had Jorius and Archie versus Daniel and Beast Mode. It went to OT, about a minute and a half of OT. V1 took it though. I think V1, yeah, they were undefeated in twos, weren't they? That's insane.
Yeah, insane.
It's
Yeah, they
actually
were
insane.
100%.
Yeah,
Yeah. Wow.
absolutely
10-0 in
wild.
twos.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Speaking of a twos duo, though, you know somebody else that I thought actually probably stepped up from how he had been in threes recently was the Ruas, Kalirs, and then obviously you had Mousen as well. They look great. I thought they looked really good in Falcons as well. You had Nuipo, TRK, and Amon, of course. And I'm gonna just propose a simple question off how good I thought they looked at Gamers8. What do you guys think is up next for Mena going into next season? Are we getting two spots? We're gonna have two very worlds competing Mena teams. What do we see?
Bob, how you feeling about it? What do you got?
For me, I mean, yeah, you got to give him at least two spots, right? At least.
Yeah.
I could see a world where they give him three, but I think at least two for sure. And then like I think more eyes will be on Mina, so like people are actually gonna watch a little bit more because like it'll be super competitive at the top. You know, you got three top teams, especially two with the Rule 1 Falcons, and Twisted Minds are nuts. And there's also other teams as well that are like right under there that are actually pretty close. Of like certain players like T7LM. I think he's one of the best players in Mina. He's on like GK, I think, right now, but I think like some roster shuffles could happen with Okhalid as well because he's in the mix now.
Ooh, that is true.
And so I think more people will be watching them, yeah. And it'll be fun. I think they're just gonna improve. And like I don't know if they'll ever get to the level of NAEU, but like they're getting really close. They're getting really, really close.
They definitely
Yeah,
have
I
a
think
chance.
next season is definitely the chance. Yeah.
Money, what'd you think about it?
Um, Dude, I think they definitely do deserve like at least 2 spots, and if they don't get at least two, there's definitely gonna be riots in the streets. People are gonna be up in arms about it.
Oh yeah, oh
And
yeah.
also, dude, they need a better time zone to like show their matches, bro. It needs to not be at the same time as NA, dude. They need to fix it. So hopefully they get a more what's the word, a better time zone for people to watch to get more viewers as well. Because I know a lot of like NA supporters also love watching Mina, so hopefully they can get that.
Yeah.
And overall, I think Falcons are gonna be the 1 seed coming into next season. Just dude, watching Nwippo, I was like, yo, this guy's actually super impressive. I didn't know what to expect from him. I didn't think he'd perform at that level. So, yeah, I've got Falcons over Rule 1 for now, but we'll see what
Interesting.
happens.
Yeah, that's a valid point. I think that's a valid point. Yeah, there's got to be at least two, right? If there's not two, it's gonna be bad. Psyonix, you will have
Yeah.
messed it up. So we're telling you right now, go ahead and give us 2 minute spots, please. I beg, I beg.
Mm.
But yeah, overall, actually that's a hot take. Well, maybe not. I was gonna say that's probably a hot take for Falcons being first because I was thinking Rule 1 probably make a switch and maybe get rid of Mousen for somebody, but.
Oh, really?
I mean, yeah, I feel like they got to. Like, I don't know. I think that Falcons roster is just better than them right now after the Nwippo thing. And they'll only get better. I feel like Falcons, they just touch what they can do. So, I don't know. We haven't seen them in full threes yet, so that's to be determined. But overall, yeah, it definitely needs to. Honestly, I don't know if I'm a big voucher for three, though. I don't know if I'm back in 3 spots quite yet. Because I feel like that region isn't that deep, really. I feel like it's still... like maybe 4 very good teams, but after that it's a big fall off. I feel like so. I don't know. And if they conglomerate the teams, it's going to be even less, I feel like, in terms of being competitive at the top. So, yeah, no, I think 2 is fair enough. But, you know.
Yeah, I think it depends on like how many teams they have going to land. Like if it's 24 teams, I guess you could justify 3, maybe,
Yeah, that's
depending
fair
on how you
enough.
split it. But
Yeah,
but yeah, I agree. I
if
think
Psionics was to go ahead and like, I guess, I've always been a big voucher for this. If they were to go ahead and make or not the regionals, the majors, more teams, or less teams, and then no, other way around. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
If they were to go ahead and make worlds, less teams, and region oh my god, I can't speak. Majors, less. Kill me, kill me. If they were to go ahead and make majors, what is it? More teams, yes. More teams, majors.
Yes.
Less teams, worlds. Then
Yes.
yeah, I think that's a valid take to give them 3. But yeah, if it's kind of like this, I'd vouch for probably only 2.
Okay. Mm-hmm. That's fair. That's fair. I think there is more depth than people think in Mina. I think a lot of people don't watch it as much, or they don't realize like there actually are like, in my opinion, I would say like 5 or 6 teams that like could actually
Really?
compete with like either Falcons Rule 1. But like it depends on roster moves as well. It depends on like where Khaled goes, where these top players go. Some players just like it's kind of like the NA problem where some players like teaming with their friends instead of like teaming with the best players. So then the depth kind of gets messed up a little bit where like you have a team where it's like one
Yeah.
clear best player and then 2 others that are not as good. So it depends. We'll see what happens in the roster shuffle the next few months. And yeah, I think honestly, I think I could justify 3 teams for me
That's
personally
fair.
at
Fair enough.
majors.
You've always been a big Mina fan as well, I feel like, though, too. So, yeah.
Yeah, I definitely have bias. So.
Yeah.
Mm. Well, let's see. Let's see. So, I mean, talking about Mina, right? Talking about, this pretty nutty region right here. Speaking of nutty players, though, what do we think about Oxygen right now? Because Oxygen, we saw like Vitality early on. We're like, oh, Vitality winning Gamers8 easily, no chance. No one's gonna be even close with Zen and 2s and 1s. No chance they lose, right? But then they lose to Oxygen. Literally, was it like day 1 they lost something? Like day 1, day 2, something like that. They lose to Oxygen. Crazy stuff, crazy stuff. I don't even know how that happened. And like, in your guys' opinion, right? Do you think like they should stick together then? Like this trio? Like, is this trio the team that's gonna beat Vitality consistently, like be #1 in EU? Or was it just a fluke though? Like, what do we think about that?
Talk to him, money.
Oh, dude. I hate being this pessimistic, but bro, it was a complete fluke, bro. In the modes, in like the variety of modes, they definitely earned the victory. Joyous taking out Zen in 1v1. I think that was like the only game I saw from that series in particular. But bro, it's just the different modes. Like they did win a couple 3v3 matches, but in like a
Mhm.
RLCS setting with the momentum and with like back-to-back consecutive 3v3 games, I think Vitality would have figured them out. And yeah, I think they're definitely gonna end up splitting up here.
Yeah, I'd probably agree. They should probably split, but I do think I would say I will say if they just wanted to have a chance at maybe taking second place at Gamers8 next year and just wanted that money instead of caring about RLCS, stay together because bro, they're actually I'm not gonna lie I thought that they looked like the second best team at this event overall. I mean they only lost in Game 7 to the winners of the event. But yeah, for RLCS, I think they got us. They got us split because, like Money said, I think it was just the no momentum into 3s. Even though they did win the 3s, they did good winning their 3s. But it was the momentum I think overall.
Okay. They did go. I think they went 2-2 against V1 in 3s, and then they went 2-1 against G2 in 3s. They went 2-1 against Vitality in 3s. And they also lost a 3s game to Ground Zero though, which is kind of weird. I don't know how that
That
happened.
is a weird one.
But yeah. But so then like if they don't stick, right? Do you think Joreus and Archie could still play together, Jag?
I really hope that not a single one of those players is together next season. To be honest, I
Damn.
think they all need a different. I think they all need a different team. To be honest, I think Archie is
Oh, yeah.
partially an issue in 3s. I've always said this. I've said this for like a year and a half now. I don't know. He's always good. He's always very solid, but he's never the very top. And he needs a team that can enable him to be at the very top because I think his talent can be the very top. And
Mm.
Jorya's is just very inconsistent. I feel like so. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know much about Jorya's. Ixo, I'm sure he'll find himself on a mid-level team. That'd be my prediction.
Wait, what do you think, Money? Same thing or yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, similarly, like Archie and Joyers, they tried it for the full season with
Hmm.
three different teammates, and they didn't really get too much better. Personally, I like the team the best when it was with Oli,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Mm.
I think it's time for them to go their separate ways. Maybe one of them can stick with Ixo because Ixo really is what's the word? I can't think of the word. I'm just gonna say solid. I lost the
Okay.
adjective. But yeah, Ixo, very solid player. I think like he fits in many different roles. So I think if either of them stick with Ixo, then they can still be successful.
Yeah.
Mm. Okay,
I'm
that's fair.
curious.
For
If you
me, I
were,
feel like
go ahead,
yeah,
Bob.
you go ahead.
Nah, you can go.
Yeah, I was gonna say for Archie, I feel like he still has a lot of potential. I feel like we're just gonna talk about it later. I feel like with hopefully with Moist disbanding, I feel like if there's like ever like a English super team, British super team, you can get Archie and Joy on the same team. I think that could be kind of fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree.
Okay.
That's fair
Mm,
enough. I don't know
Yeah.
what the chem would look like between those two. I feel like that might be kind of a
mm,
clashing chem, but I don't know. But yeah, I'd be
maybe.
interested to see it. I feel like this might be kind of a weird
Mm,
take, but I feel like if I was Oxygen, low key, I'd actually just build around Ixo. It's not usual
mm,
that you take probably the worst player
Mm.
on a team and build around him, but I feel like he's not a bad player. I feel like he's a very consistent, very
mm,
mid-ish tier player that you can just build, just take two really good players, put them in, and they probably play decent enough. So I feel like it's almost guaranteed that they will be at least not bad with him. So I don't know. That's just my thought. I just wanted to share it.
Yeah, I don't mind that, but yeah, there's definitely no shot they go for it.
Yeah,
But
no, probably
yeah,
not.
I actually don't mind that.
mm. Oh,
Yeah. I mean, speaking of other teams
mm,
that look crazy, a lot of people actually expected Optic to look crazy in this format, and they did not at
oof.
all. Are they back to mid-season form? Are their mentals chalked? What's going on? AJ can't win ones games against Atomic. What's happening here? Break it down. Talk to me about it, Bob.
I mean, they lost 0-3 to G2. They lost 0-3 to Vitality. I mean, Vitality is fair.
Yeah.
But like they had like a one goal game against Vitality in threes, but then like the second threes game was like 7-4, which was a wild game. I didn't get to watch it. I got to watch that back how 11 goals were scored in a threes game. But like realistically, I think this is a team that probably should make a move. I seen a lot of people saying they want Optic to stick, but the thing is I feel like they're just
Yeah,
not good enough to
they
stick,
are.
unfortunately. So I feel like I love Magic Bear, the bear. I love and feed the bear, but I feel like if they got a better third, this could be a really good team in NA. This could be really good. They still have a lot of potential, I think.
That's fair. Money?
Um, I didn't see a lot of their games like during the tournament, but was AJ sick? I've heard AJ was like he was
Was he?
physically not feeling well. Is that true or no? I don't know.
I haven't
Like
heard
I don't
anything
have any
about
like
that. If that
yeah, like
is
I
I
don't
didn't
have
hear
true,
like
about that.
reliable sources.
if that is
My
true,
source
I'd
was
probably
like
cut him
trust me,
some
bro.
slack. But
Yeah,
I
so
don't
I
know.
don't know.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, that's an interesting one. I don't know about that, but if that's the case, probably. Money, do you think that they should stick then? I'm curious. You know, Bob gave his take.
I think I don't know. I kind of agree with Bop here. Like, I'm not even like anti Magic Bear, but I just feel like the team needs something different, and I think Reynolds and AJ like they work really well together. So
Mm.
I think yeah, maybe trying to find a new third, but
Yeah, that's
I don't
fair.
know.
I'd probably agree. I'm not gonna lie though. I think AJ is like a silent leader. I think you could get rid of Reynolds on that team and replace Reynolds with someone better.
Really?
Actually, yeah. Like if you got
Ooh.
someone like say,
I,
for example, like a Garrett G with those two, I think that'd be a very good team. Um, and Magic, bro, Magic is only getting better. Like he has proven that he's only getting better still. Like into that last split in the spring regional, bro, this guy was looking so good. I swear. So yeah, I
mm.
really, I mean, I kind of like the sim stick, but yeah, I don't think this current roster could like win a worlds or a major. I don't think it's there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay.
It'll be interesting.
It definitely needs to be some change, I think, for sure. But like, yeah, I mean, it's interesting. NA is in a weird spot right now because I mean, obviously FaZe now potentially disbanding. We're not sure what's gonna happen with them, but they did play with Chrome at Gamers8, and honestly, they didn't look that bad. Like they actually looked decent. Chrome was kind of popping off. I can't lie. Chrome was actually kind of nuts.
He was
But
the goat.
like, yeah, he was crazy. He had that one shot against like Vatira, right? Where like he hit like that
Yeah.
redirect, like 2016 type redirect right there. It was crazy. It was crazy.
Yeah, I
But
need to see the
like,
highlights. Yeah, I missed it.
yeah, that was a crazy shot. But like, so FaZe then, right? Shift reported that like First Killer probably gonna be a free agent. Like they're
Mhm.
probably gonna disband maybe. Like, what do you think about the future of like these three players' money? Like, how do you think like FK, Typical Miss like next season? Do you still see them at the top? What do you think about them?
Bro, I have absolutely no idea. There's so many variables that could happen here. People have been hypothesizing the super team, FK going to V1 now that Com is alleged or not allegedly, like he's left or he's not being renewed from V1, but allegedly they're still gonna keep him on like on the team, but V1's just leaving something like that.
Mhm.
But
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think FK's still in that conversation. He might still get into Beast Mode and Daniel on the same team. In terms of the other two players, missed.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dude, I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea. He's got to get his hours up. I'm just gonna say that, bro. He's got to start playing the game. He's got to get his hours up. He needs to show that he still wants it. And then if he
Mm-hmm.
does, he'll definitely get picked up by a solid team, solid top, maybe top five team. I think he's still got the potential to be up there. And Loki, same
Mm-hmm.
as Cyprical. Like I haven't seen like the offensive greatness from Cyprical in a while, but
Mm-hmm.
he's still like setting up like passing plays. He's still like a playmaker.
Yeah.
So I think Cyprical still got a chance to be up there if he still wants to compete.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What about Chrome? Did he unretire? What do you think?
Yeah. Dude, the only
Honest-
highlight I saw from Chrome was when they were roasting him, bro. They were like, "Oh, pull up the highlight tape." It was him walking
I
out.
saw that. I saw
Didn't
that.
even show him
That was
That was
playing.
good.
crazy.
Nah, that was
I
funny.
missed the games. I was ready to see like some insane play from Chrome, bro.
No,
It just showed him
actually though,
walking
you
out.
know what though? You know what about Chrome that actually is interested to me though? How old is he? He's like 28, isn't he? People are always
Yeah, I think
like,
he's
It's like
30 on the
yeah,
dot.
people
like
people
30.
are always
Yeah.
like these old guys don't got it. Honestly, for 30, that's probably the best 30-year-old, probably best maybe 25 plus year old we might ever see play a game at this high of a level like ever again. So shout out Chrome for that. But yeah, on phase though, on the serious note for the other three players though, first killer again. I don't know. Money brought up the V1 thing. Beast mode. I don't know if you watched the chalk cast, but Beast mode seemed pretty confident that that roster still was gonna stick together. Long off season though, so you never know.
Wait, he thinks the phase roster's gonna stick together?
No. He thinks that
Oh, okay,
V1
okay.
are
Yeah,
gonna stick
V1.
together under a different
Okay, okay,
banner.
okay. That
Um,
makes more sense. Okay.
yeah. So first killer though, I don't know. He'll probably land on top 3 NA team. I have no idea who it would be though. Maybe I couldn't even begin to guess, man. There's too many shakeups, but yeah, I'd say probably top 3 NA
Yeah.
team.
Hmm.
Then you got Mist. Honestly, like if he plays it, honestly, I think it really just depends if he plays the game. Like it really does. Like if he's playing the game, if he has like
Mhm.
I don't even know 50 hours a week, like that's good for Mist. Or 50 hours past 2 is pretty good for Mist. I feel like. But yeah, if he plays, I feel like he'll probably land on probably a top 5 team. And then this might be a hot take, but Typical, I think he actually might retire. He doesn't sound like he wants to play the game at all. So.
Ooh.
Might just.
Oh,
might just
actually,
take
wait, that's a good
rain
point.
check out there.
I think wasn't it rolled as that Loki leak that Typical
Yeah.
wanted to retire for like
Kind of.
not regional spring, yes, for the spring.
Yeah, it just sounds like he
Yeah.
just doesn't enjoy playing it, and honestly, if that's the case, I don't blame him. He should do what he thinks is best for him.
Damn.
He's a great player though. If he wants to continue and get back in it, he definitely can.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
fair. That's fair.
What do you think?
That
For
Loki
him,
be
Bob?
It's interesting. It's interesting, right? Because like I think I've heard from like other like pros and stuff that like these players like I suppose like even Typical and Miss, they're still gonna be looked at from like all the top teams. Like
Yeah.
even despite like the hours problems, despite mentality stuff, teams typically overlook that kind of like they're still gonna try out these players. And they're still gonna see like I could see honestly all three of these players still on top 5 teams next season.
Yeah.
It just like depends on like how tryouts go, stuff like that. I think FK is still gonna be a top two, top one player maybe next season for NA. I think, yeah, these guys, I think individually would be a lot better. I think like it depends on the team morales, right? Because like if they join a team, it's the same mentality, then they'll probably fall off again the same way they did with FaZe. But if they find a team that has better leadership, because like this kind of team, like Rolla said it himself, that like there wasn't like a proper leader on the team. Like FK is
Yeah.
not really that in-game leader. So like if like in a world where they team someone like, Garrett G, Reddles, someone that's like a really good in-game leader, I
Hmm.
think they can all improve a lot. Like you saw Sip when he was with the Reddles, that's when he was looking at his best form ever probably.
Right.
So things like that, I would love to see it with them like with the better leaders. I think they could still prosper quite a lot next season.
Yeah, Sypical specifically, if he does decide to keep going, I think if he had a team environment like well, that current SSG team environment seems really nice. So if he had a team
Mm.
environment like that one, I
That's
think he'd benefit from that greatly. That's what it sounds like he needs, a good uplifting environment, and you never know, we might see Sypical winning some majors or something. You never know. He's good enough to do
Ooh.
so.
okay. The typical winning majors right now, I'd say that's a bit surprising.
It
But
would be.
speaking of surprises, what surprised you
Ooh.
guys most in this land? Out of like anything. It could be a
Mm.
series, it could be a game, it could be something like outside of the game. What surprised you guys the most about Gamers8?
Man, I gotta take a look at some of these series to refresh my mind here.
Yeah.
Okay,
Maybe
Bob, you got
like
anything or? Yeah.
it could be like I just didn't see much out of like South America, I guess. Like I felt like they could have done a little bit better. I feel
Hmm.
like they're on a weird trend right now because like obviously they don't have Furia, they don't have complexity like in South America themselves. So like
Yeah.
without them, I feel like the region's not as strong as it could be. Like they were pretty good at the beginning of the season. Like yeah, Seeker made a top four, Crew made like a top eight, I think, right? Or was that Nip? It was yeah, Crew, yeah, and then Nip also
Yep.
beat Furia at the last major. Like I just feel like they've kind of fallen off a little bit. I expect them to bounce back, but like I thought they would do a little bit better here. Like I thought the bounce back would have been part of Gamers 8, like with KV1, some of
Yeah.
these players that are really good, but they just didn't really show it in my opinion.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
I would probably say, man, I have most people. I feel like a lot of people would just be like, "Oh yeah, Vitality is surprising they didn't make it." But honestly, I'm pretty sure if you look back in our posts or our pre Gamers 8 thing, I actually said I didn't expect them to win. I think I predicted Rule 1 to beat them. So, yeah, I'm not gonna
Hmm.
say them. Honestly, overall, I would say Furia did surprise me. I thought they might be like they had
Hmm.
a chance to be good and make it to the final, but I thought they looked like really good. Like I know it was Gamers 8, but I mean they beat Carmine Corp in every threes game. And that to me,
Yeah.
I would have never predicted
Hmm.
that. Like there's no way in hell you're getting me
True.
to predict that in any circumstance. I probably still wouldn't do it. If you gave me this bracket, I still wouldn't do it. Let them do it again. So,
Oh yeah.
yeah. Furia surprised me. I thought they were actually better than, or a little bit better than I thought they might be.
Hmm. Well, what about you, Money?
Um, I gotta talk a bit out of game first. Out of game, I was actually surprised by the production, like how much they upped it since last year.
Hmm.
Like last year, they definitely upped it, and oh, also the advertising. The advertising caught me off guard. It was in almost every like big
Hmm.
YouTubers videos leading up to the event. They actually
Oh
got
yeah.
It
some
was everywhere.
sponsorship stuff. So,
Bro,
yep,
why didn't we
good
get
stuff.
sponsored? They should have sponsored us.
Yeah, what the heck?
True, bro.
Guys, send
True.
this
See, what's our
send this to
marketing
Gamers
manager
8.
doing, bro?
Gamers 8, if you're
I
watching, we're
don't
ready next year. Call us up.
know.
Imagine. That'd be
And
hilarious.
then in game, something that surprised me, the vitality, uh,
Mm.
yeah, like the overall like vitality finishing top eight, that was surprising. And then the Zen match against Joyous, like it wasn't just like the fact that Zen lost; it was the way that Zen lost. It was tied 4-4, a bit under a minute
Mm.
left. Zen messes up a speed flip, and then Joyous scores the winning goal with like 40 seconds left. And so that
Mm.
was kind of surprising to see Zen mess up like that. But
Yeah.
Mm.
One thing I was thinking, I really would be interested to like talk to somebody on Vitality and see like what their mental was in this event, to be honest. Because I
Hmm.
realistically like
Or you think it was bad?
I don't know. I don't think their mental is bad. I feel like they were just really lackadaisical. They're like, we're just going here to have fun. I feel like they weren't like they
Yeah.
like you just won worlds. Like sure you
Mm.
want a lot more money, but you just won worlds. Like everybody knows you're the best threes team in the world. Like I don't know. I feel like they were just kind of there to have fun and
Hmm.
not really care as much as maybe other teams cared about this event.
That's fair.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's pretty fair. That's pretty fair. I gotta say, one thing that didn't surprise me was the fact that I actually predicted the final correctly. I said Vitality weren't gonna make the
Really?
finals. I said it was gonna be a V1 Rule 1 finals in the last podcast.
Wait, you
To be fair, I did get it
did.
wrong. I
Wait,
did
that's
predict that.
He
greatness.
did
I
say
did
that.
predict that. I
That's
said Rule 1
great.
were gonna win, so I got that wrong. But I predicted the final right, which I was happy about. I didn't.
Yeah,
I
just
said Vitality not making the finals, so
There
I'll
you
take
go.
that.
bro. Wait, that's sick. Yeah, just cut that part out of the clip and post
Yeah.
that.
No, yeah, bro,
Yo.
that's
Exactly,
impression
exactly.
form right there.
Oh.
Yeah, you gotta
Yeah,
do
that's
that.
sick.
Alrighty though. I guess we somewhat just touched on it, but Money says, did you say you thought Vitality were the most disappointing? Bob, who'd you think the most disappointing was here? What team?
Ooh, like team overall, I
Mm-hmm.
wanted Flitz to do a little bit better. Gladiators, I thought like Flitz could do something else,
Mm-hmm.
winning some more games. I mean, they took a game off Optic, which was actually impressive because I was with OSM right there beating AJ in ones, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted Flitz to win a game, and he didn't, so I was sad about that.
That's fair. You know, speaking of disappointing teams, actually, there is it's one of your teams, your favorite teams, Bob. Koi, I thought,
Oh
I
man.
going in, I actually didn't expect much from him. I'm gonna be real, but then I
Ooh.
saw them play, and actually looking at this, every single game they lost in this entire tournament, aside from a single
Uh-huh.
game, was a 1 goal game.
Mm.
And I thought Koi could have taken almost every single game they played in this tournament. So I was disappointed. Once I saw
Yeah.
them play, they weren't very icy, but they had some greatness showing. They just couldn't ice up and
Mm.
win games. So I don't
Yeah, I
know.
don't know if you guys did you see the Cheese versus a Tau
I
1v1?
did,
That
and he
was very wild. Like Cheese like a Tau was winning and then Cheese was winning until literally like the
yeah
last few seconds. And then a
yeah
Tau scores at the end and then he scores like was it a 0 second goal or something?
pretty close.
It was
Damn.
so
I was
disappointing.
watch partying that, and I called it too. I was like, "Cheese is not icing this up," and then he choked it right after. I was like, "Oh man."
Yeah. That was
Damn.
so sad. That was so sad.
It was pain. It was pain indeed. Anyways,
Mm.
something else that was pain. Again, we semi touched on it, but we'll talk a little bit more about it. Actually, now we'll skip it because I think we mostly did cover it. I was gonna ask why we thought three teams could not seem to win their games, but I think it just came down to the momentum of
Mm-hmm.
the matches. It seemed to be how it was. But
Yeah.
our very last point before we get into a little bit of roster mania.
Ooh.
Vitality did indeed bomb out top 8, being Zen's worst performance in his career. Does this impact how we feel about them moving forward in any way? Money, what do you think?
Mm.
I mean, I guess it shows that they're not completely invincible, that they have a chance to get beaten, and I think this definitely helps like the pros
Mm-hmm.
to see that as well, into going into next season. But for me, I still think they're the number one team in the world. I still think they're the best threes team in the world, despite this tournament. And I think they're gonna come back. I think they're gonna bounce back strong.
Mm.
Valid. Bob?
Yeah, I agree. I would say it doesn't change anything at all about how I think of Vitality. I think they're still, yeah, by far best team in the world. I've seen some people say that like they should kick Radosin for someone else. I think that's crazy take. I think that's a perfect team right there. I think, yeah, no changes. I think they're fine. They're chilling. They made so much money. Zen's already what, like
Yeah,
top
I
25 or
think
something like
so.
that in the world for how much money he's made.
Mm-hmm.
Insane.
Like it's crazy. It's crazy. I think they're good. They're chilling in my opinion. What about you, Jag, then?
I'd say honestly, I would say this does impact how I feel about them a little bit. Not necessarily in terms of
Mm.
like I still do think they are the best threes team in the world.
Mm.
But like Money said, it does show they are beatable. Like I think just seeing that they can lose a tournament, like I feel like at one point in time, they really had that thing where it was just like we're playing Vitality. This is a guaranteed loss. Like it gets in your mind when a team is just that good for that long. And now that they've lost, even though it isn't
Mhm.
RLCS, I think that'll ease a little bit, and we could see them, maybe second seed in EU, depending on how rosters would shape up. I think they're
Mm-hmm.
beatable. They're definitely beatable. It's not like they're that far ahead like everyone was saying. I don't think.
Mm-hmm. That's fair. That's fair. I guess one thing we didn't have written, but I think it's an interesting question to bring up, not about Vitality, but actually about BDS.
Mm.
Because like they've now made past three lands, they made top four each land. They made top two at Worlds and the Major. Do we think like it's kind of transitions to our next point? Do we think they make a change, BDS, or do you think they stick together?
Bro, see,
Dude, that's
Rise makes this question more interesting, I think. Because if it wasn't
Mm,
Rise and it was any other player and they were getting these results, I would say, yeah, they're sticking
yeah.
together. But Rise,
mm,
genuinely, this guy is, like, he just wants to win. Like, it's literally his mentality. Go to the best team he thinks
yeah.
he fits on and win. But I did see something at Gamers8, actually, and it was quite interesting. They had like their own little handshake every game. It was quite interesting, and so I think they're pretty
Yeah.
tight. I think Monkey Moon and Rise are pretty tight, and so I would say they actually do stick. Unless there's something crazy, I think
Ooh.
they do stick.
Okay.
Okay. Dude, I'm going
Well,
with the opposite, bro. It's time for Rise to leave, and who's he gonna team up with? It might be apparently Jack. Rise and Jack
ooh.
coming together.
Hey yo, wait.
Wait, and
I
A or
never even
EU?
thought about that.
I don't know. They can play anywhere in the world,
Okay.
bro. Go to OCE. Just make it to land, bro. I don't know. They can play anywhere.
Man.
That's
Well, I
interesting.
actually never thought about that though. Yeah, like Rise to Gen G, for example, that could be very interesting.
That would be very
That could
good
be
Yeah, I'd love
very
to see that.
interesting.
I feel like Rise is just an
Mm,
Yeah.
upgraded Noli, so yeah, I feel like it would work very well.
a little bit.
And I think he wants to
That's
come to NA at some point anyway, so possible.
I mean, he was planning to originally with
Right.
the
Mm.
V1, and then that didn't end up working out. So,
So yeah,
mm,
possible. What about you, Bob? What do you think?
we'll see. I mean, for me, yeah, I think I agree with you, Money. I think Rise is gonna leave. I feel like he's just
Really?
the kind of player that it's hard for him to stick on a team. Like he left Moist after they got a top two at the major, and then like yeah, Moist kind of fell off after that. But for Rise, I could see him going back to Moist. Honestly, I could see him. Like I said earlier, I said Joyo
Ooh.
Archie. Give me Joyo
Yeah.
Archie Rise. I think that's an interesting team right there.
Yeah. Didn't
Yo,
didn't
that's a
Rise
sick
say? I
one.
swear, Rise one time did actually say though that he wasn't a big fan of teaming with Archie, like just a team environment. I feel like he said. So
Oh yeah.
I don't know if that'd be doable,
Okay.
but
Interesting. Okay.
either way, it would be interesting.
Mm.
Actually, I will say this too. I think if BDS do get rid of somebody, it actually will not be Rise though. I think it will be Seiko. I
Ooh.
think Seiko will be the one going.
Mm.
Rise and Monkey seem to be very close from just like when you watch. I feel like at this point, so yeah, it could be Seiko
Mm-hmm.
going if it happens. Um,
Okay.
Yeah, dude, that'd be wild. But yeah, speaking
Yeah.
of teams that are changing and stuff, you might as well just hop right into roster mania. So do you guys think that any like the results from Gamers8 or just from this year in general will make some teams stick or some teams leave? What do you guys think?
Mm, I
I would.
think for me, the
Go ahead.
only yeah, you can go ahead. You go first. You go first.
Okay, I would say that. Well, first of all, yes, most definitely. I think overall, it will force teams to make one that I did actually mention earlier that I think will be one to be watching out for. I think with how good Falcons looked at this event, I think Rule One, I think we will see them actually make a change if they can get somebody to replace Mousen. Um, and then on top of that, I think Furia have a next to zero chance of staying together. Genji obviously are already busted. Um, Liquid, I have a feeling probably going to be the same. They'll probably be gone.
Mm,
Carmine Corp, I think, are going to be gone. Obviously, FaZe are exploded. Um, BDS could be exploded. Optic, I don't think stick together. G2 might stay. I will say that. And then Oxygen, I think, are blowing up as well.
ooh.
So, there you go. There's
Dude,
your
that's a lot
rundown.
of teams, bro.
Yeah.
Holy, roster mania is about to go crazy. What about you, Bob? Got anything to
Well,
add from that, or
I
any that you
feel like
disagree with?
the only team, in my opinion, that would have gotten affected by the result of Gamers 8 is V1. I feel like if they didn't do well at Gamers 8, then like Calm is definitely off that team. But since they won and they seemed like the trio, like they felt good together, they had fun together. I feel like there's a chance V1 does stick. Of course, probably not under the V1 org. Then there might be
Yeah,
some weird stuff that goes on there. But I could see them stick, and then also Vitality should definitely stick.
yeah.
And honestly, those might be the only two teams in the world I think that stick. I feel like everyone else is gonna get
Uh,
changed.
Well, Falcons too, right?
Oh, well, I guess Falcons technically already made a change, right?
I
But I
guess,
guess
yeah,
like
yeah.
post Gamers8, yeah. So I
Valid.
guess wait, also actually I wasn't thinking about other minor regions. I think Rule 1 also stick. I
Okay.
think Rule 1 stick as well.
okay.
So yeah.
All
Wait,
right.
Jag, hold on. You talked a bit about Mawson leaving or getting kicked from Rule 1. Who do you think that they
Mm.
replaced? Do you think that they might get Khaled? Do you think it would be someone else?
I
What do you
think.
think?
Well, see now, just looking at talent wise, I'd say SMW is your best choice. But I don't know
Okay.
if he matches with the Twins that well in terms of play style. So it's kind of a questionable one there.
Mm.
But yeah, I'd say overall SMW is the best talent to pick up if they wanted to do that. I'm very high on him.
That'd be
Interesting.
interesting.
That would be interesting. I feel like it's like I feel like it's the same problem that like people have with First Killer joining
Yeah,
V1,
yeah,
where it's like three like superstar players. Like, will they work together? It's possible, but like it's tough to say. Tough to say.
yeah. I feel like this is kind of a topic for another day, I guess. But I feel like when you get good enough players on a team, like at some, like they're good enough to just like make it work no matter what. Like I feel like that team,
Mm.
we could talk about it another time, like I said, but I feel like that team, the first killer beast mode Daniel, it's just too much talent to not at least be like top five in NA. Like if you're not top five in NA with that, like just you have to look at yourselves. Like there's nothing else to that really. So at some point, I mean, I feel like it's got to work, right? Um, but anyways, there are a lot of disbanding things and roster changes and everything and kicking
Ooh.
and contracts and everything being gone right now. You got G1 and PSG Tundra disbanding,
Mm.
along with Nolly not on Genji. Com's contract obviously is over. And you had Moist rebuilding around Joy. All things, they're all blowing up already. It's already began, but we're gonna see a lot more in
Man.
the future coming. Um, what
Mm.
exactly do we think about all of these changes? Are they all good? Is well, go through each one. Let me know, Money. Tell me what you think about each one.
Um, I mean G1 and PSG Tundra disbanding. I was actually kind of surprised that PSG Tundra disbanded because like they just showed up.
Yeah.
I think it was the spring split. Yeah, the spring split, they just showed up. But I mean, yeah, I guess it happens. Noli no longer on Genji. I'm a big Noli fan. I'm a big Genji
Mm.
fan, and I think Genji did need to make a change because
Hmm.
it just wasn't working out for them. Like they didn't even look bad, but it just every other team that they play just looks better than them.
Yeah.
And actually, at Gamers8, they kind of struggled against who was it? I think it was Falcons. Yeah, when they played Falcons, they definitely
Mm.
seemed like the weaker team there. But yeah, I think Genji they did need to make a change, and yeah, I think Noli was the right person to kick. I look forward to seeing what he's gonna do next though. I
Hmm.
don't know.
Mm. Well,
Yeah.
pretty fair. Pretty fair. I think I agree overall. Like I think G1, PSG Tundra are interesting teams to like think about because you have really good players on these teams. I mean, you
Hmm.
got like Atomic, you got Tox, you got Catalysm. You got a lot of these players like Oli, like these players that like could still end up on top five teams next season.
Yeah,
So I think that's gonna cause some crazy stuff to go on in EU. And then for NA, of course, I think V1 probably will stick, but it's tough to say with them. And then Nali not on Gen G. It makes some interesting like you have so many options then. Because like what if Nali wants to make his own team then, right? What if he doesn't want to
Yeah.
join someone? Like imagine he gets like an FK and like I don't even know who else could even he get Justin. Imagine like Nali FK
Oh my.
Justin. I don't even know.
oh, that'd be wild.
But like there's so many like combinations you can make in NA right now with these top
Yeah,
teams, top players that like who knows what's gonna happen? Who knows?
Indeed, indeed. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. The Tundra one, like Money said, that one is kind of weird to me actually. G1's not surprising at all. But yeah, overall, you are gonna have some good players, like you said. Especially, I'm gonna be looking at Atomic. I don't know if he would ever consider moving to like NA or Sam, but I could see some wild teams being made if he would do so. Um,
Atomic the complexity?
yeah, you never know. I don't know. Like I
Mm-hmm.
said, I don't think that complexity roster should switch anything. Honestly, I think they're still good enough. But
Mm-hmm.
You never know. It could
Okay.
happen. And then Noli, not on Gen G. I think it was definitely time. Their threes, man, their threes were just horrible towards the end. I don't know what they were doing. They just looked like they just could not compete in threes with any of these top teams, it seemed. Calm, like you said, I think he probably stays with V1.
Oh god.
Oh my.
The light turned off.
Bob has a ghost in
Wait
his
a
room.
Okay.
Yo, look at the shadow.
The
Yo,
automatic
That was
light, bro.
wild.
Crazy.
you turned into a super villain.
He entered the Bat Cave real quick. That's
Crazy.
wild. That's insane.
Wow.
But bro, I look over and I'm like, well, Bob's camera's gone, and then I just look over and I just see the shadows sitting in the dark.
Bro, I gotta move around. I can't stay still for too long.
Yeah, there you
Oh
go.
my God.
Just do some jumping
that's
jacks for the
funny,
last few
bro.
minutes of the pod. It should be good.
That's funny,
Okay.
bro.
Oh, it was hilarious. But anyways, okay. Back to the roster mania. We have what was the other one? So yeah, Calm I think stays with V1. Moist rebuilding around Joyo. Bro, it's really interesting actually to me that Moist and Joyo have like just a pact at this point. I feel like they're just tied to each other. I'm very curious to see how long Joyo will actually be on Moist. Like I feel like there's a real chance that as long as Joyo is a top enough player, we just see Moist and Joyo together for like 10 years. Like it could just be like a 10-year Joyo Moist contract, and then you just get a bunch of random other players with them. Like it's actually wild to me, but
Yeah.
it's
like
good.
it.
Yeah, it's good, and I think Joyo's a good face of a franchise, I guess you could say to have. So, yeah, shout out Joyo, what a guy. I'm excited to see who Moist grab. Hopefully, it's better than this last roster they had because Joyo's talent has only been getting better. I feel like he's proven, especially in the past 3 months or so, that he can be like a top player on a top team. I feel like. And then yeah, also yeah, you had First Killer as a free agent as well, which I think Money said he thought he might go to V1. Well, whatever V1 is, but First Killer, I would say I don't know what his future is. Top 3 on A team. There's no way he isn't. Other than that, no clue who he would team with though.
Facts. Yeah, FK's probably got the most options out of like anyone.
I feel like you could. I feel like you could literally plug First Killer onto any NA team. Is that a hot take? Like I think you could replace him with like any.
No, I kind of agree. And if there's any team that you couldn't, maybe SSG because of the chemistry and like we saw how it worked with Daniel. But even then, I think there might be a chance it still works.
I think First is pretty decent at sacrificing these days though for a threes team. I feel like back in the day it wouldn't work, but I feel like you could get rid of someone like. I don't even want to say. Usually, people just pick like the worst player to just get rid of. But I feel like a Hoxer instead of First Killer, like that's just an instant upgrade. I feel like. Then you have the Arsenal hype as well still. So, yeah, I don't know. That'd be interesting. But yeah, I'd probably agree. At SSG, they got the chem. Oh, and I guess your South American teams. I don't know. First speaks Spanish, so.
Yeah, true. Language.
First Killer to Sam. That could be fun.
Imagine.
True.
Imagine the Bull CRR and First Killer. My God. Nah, it would be gross, bro. You would never hear the end of me if that was a roster. It would be insane.
And Aloy made a good point in that chat.
Yeah.
Regardless, the best thing about getting First Killer is you don't play against him.
That is true.
So,
And bro,
Yeah, but then you
NA,
get his
scary.
dad on your team though. I don't know. Get his dad on your team.
true.
know.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Good point.
I don't know. I think I'd take his dad if I'm getting First Killer. I'll deal with it. Sure. Yeah, give me his dad and
Okay,
First
that's a good
Killer.
point. That's a good point.
My goodness. But yeah, unless you guys have anything else, we had a nice short podcast today. I know we kind of expected that, but it was a good one. We covered all of our important topics. We talked about how NA is back, baby.
Yeah.
And all that. So yeah, do you guys have anything else before we close it out?
No, dude. Low-key, I think this was a good amount of time as well, like to get
nice.
through like topics that we had. Yeah, it worked out really well, guys. If you haven't seen the whole thing, the VOD's gonna be up. Also, we are on YouTube as well as Spotify and iTunes coming soon as well. So feel free to check us out there if you missed any of the podcast.
Indeed, Bob.
Yeah. I think we're good. I think it was a good podcast. I'm excited to see like what goes on in this off season because there's gonna be so much stuff that happens,
Crazy.
so much stuff to talk about. all the moves, it's gonna be insane. So I'm excited to see what's gonna happen.
Yep. All right. With that said, though, guys, next week we will be doing a top 25 player in the world tier list finally, or ranking. I guess not tier list. But yeah, that should be a fun one. That should be a lot of stuff. We might try and get a guest on, I'm pretty sure, as well. So be on the lookout for that. We always announce guests on our Twitter, so be sure to follow our Twitter at the 5050 cast, I'm pretty sure is what it is. And yeah, that'll do it for today. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you, Money and Bop. And yeah, with that said, we'll see you next week.